And
Yeah.
I don't know how the event handles the location being virtual. So if you
Yeah.
had to click on the event, I don't know. So that's why I posted the link right below. Hey Tyler, what's up, buddy?
What's
Uh,
up, Oscar? How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you? Do you have
Good.
it? Did you have any trouble clicking through into the group into the room or anything? No.
No.
Okay.
How
Yeah.
many times did you click to get in? Like once?
Well, there was like 3 join now buttons or something. It's really weird, but
Okay. Yeah. I'm still figuring that out because I was just telling Allison. I think there's a join the event, and then the event has a link to the room, and then once you're in the room, there's a join. I don't know. Maybe I'll just.
yeah, like it asked me like 3 times, and then it was like twice it asked if I want to continue with Tyler Smith, and I was
Okay.
like, well, do I really have an option? Like, I don't know.
Like, hey, how are you, Lisa?
Hello.
So, well, we have some people here. Cool. We'll wait for a few more. By the way, guys, I am recording this, so if you guys have any, I mean, I hope you don't have any issues because there's no really choice.
There's not a choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
The good news, while we wait for a couple more people, I figured out how to get my big camera working now, so I don't have to use my crappy laptop camera. So, anyway, you guys,
Yeah. Crap, the laptop camera works.
yeah,
I mean, not as good as HD then, but
yeah,
you gotta make it all fancy and stuff, you know.
I know. And I have my microphone. How do I sound okay to you guys? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So I don't know if you guys have met. I mean, Lisa and Allison, you guys know each other, but I don't think you've met Tyler.
Hi,
So,
Tyler.
Hi, Tyler.
of course, as he takes a bite of his food.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So,
One time.
Tyler runs a huge website for bald people like me and him.
Perfect.
So,
Yeah, it's been fun.
So do you have
Are
to
you
have a beard?
drinking coffee
Or...
out of
I guess not.
What's that?
Sorry.
what was
Go
that?
ahead, Lisa.
Oh, I was just asking Oscar if he's drinking coffee out of a large mason jar.
Yes. I put it's like half coffee. I put like half coffee and then water, so it's not all coffee.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and then I have my big water pitcher here. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I'm on a.
Wow. Close to your desk? That's brave.
I
It's either
know.
brave or stupid.
Right.
I'll take the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I have my laptop raised, so it's somewhat safe. It's not directly on the desk. And anyway, yeah. So, how are you guys doing? How's your week going?
Good.
Good,
Good.
so far.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what Tyler's eating, but that's
I'm,
because
I'm eating breaded elk steaks.
oh,
Breaded elk steaks.
Well,
Oh, that's all. Did you hunt or did you
Yeah.
buy it? Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
How did you do you what do you
yeah,
hunt with?
rifle hunt
So what?
in Montana. It was a rifle hunt in Montana.
Oh, okay, cool. I used to be totally against it until I watched some podcasts with Joe Rogan, and they were explaining how it works to actually make it a conservation thing, and
Yeah, if
maybe,
you, I recommend all non-hunters who have any reservations about hunting watch the show Meat Eater
yeah,
on Netflix
yes.
I saw
because
it.
it gets into the difficulty. Like, it's not like you're shooting fish in a barrel. It takes a lot of work to be
Oh,
able
yeah.
to harvest an animal.
Yeah, I follow a bunch of hunting channels now, and then I see sometimes they're out there for 4 days, and that's it. They come home and they're like, nope, nothing happened. And
Yeah.
of
mean-
course, it depends on the skill too. But I see that. I mean, I still feel a little bit bad about it, but they say, look, this animal's going to live whatever it may be. This one may be 7 years, maybe 3 years, maybe 5 years. But the last 2 or 3 years of their life is going to be miserable anyway.
Yeah, they're not eaten by a predator.
Right, if they make it, right. So they're going to be displaced by their own community because they're old. Maybe they'll break a leg because they're going blind, and then they're just going to be stumbling about for like weeks at a time with, and then, you know, sometimes because of other things we've done, they decimate other areas. So this is kind of to control population, and the only thing is, as long as you're eating them, then I'm all for it. I don't like
Yeah,
the whole shooting for a sport and not using the thing. But anyway,
yeah, that's the way I was raised. You hunt to eat, not
yeah.
just.
And I thought also for the quality of the meat, I thought it'd be good to do that. And then I realized for somebody like me in California to go out hunting, it costs like $3,000 to go out and on a hunting trip, and then you're not guaranteed anything, of course, like So unless you already have everything, those are the best prices I found for like a weekend trip. It's like between 25 to 3,200. Of course,
Yeah, for like a guided private hunt. Like if you were to
yeah,
learn to hunt, you could hunt private land for
right,
$200 in supplies. I
right,
think. But
but yeah,
yeah,
but I mean,
it was
I've
just,
never,
like in Montana, just to get a tag is like $600. That's
sure,
just to get like the ability to shoot
right,
or hunt an animal, and then with like a very low percentage of heart rate.
right,
So
yeah,
it
so
often turns out to be a very expensive camping trip.
yeah, right. So anyway, yeah. So I guess this will be it for now. We don't need to wait for anybody else. Everybody gets the reminders. Obviously, you guys made it in on time, and so um, I don't know really how to go about this yet. So we'll see. I mean, this is just kind of a friendly chat. Normally, I have planned live sessions where I'll be just presenting something. So this is different. This is I just want to talk to you guys, ask questions. Really quick though, there's somebody that has a lot of sound coming through. I don't know if I'm the only one hearing it.
It might be me.
Okay. So, oh, perfect. Yeah, so that's much better. So basically, yeah, I just wanted to know, Allison and Lisa, you've already been working on some things, and maybe we want to hear an update. And then Tyler, we don't know much of what you're doing, so I don't know if you want to kind of start and tell us what you're doing for content, or what is it that not didn't attract you to the group, because obviously I invited all of you guys, but what made you stay? What seems interesting, or what do you want to do with content moving forward for the rest of the year? So
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind starting. I haven't been doing much with content
okay,
the last couple of years, but I'm in this time of COVID, I've been teaching myself how to build mobile apps,
oh okay,
and so knowing that and having success in content marketing in the past, I figure it's probably a good time to brush up on the content aspect of stuff. As I'm, if I get to developing applications that I want to market, um, it's good to have the skills that
sure.
be
Have,
for.
have you built any apps yet?
No, I'm on the last section of this course.
Okay,
I'm getting familiar enough with the language that I think I can start, but I'm going to be a good student and finish the course before I
oh
dive
good.
in and build stuff.
And they're mostly in Java, right? Is it Java that you use?
No, this is a language called Flutter
Okay,
that Google developed. So it's
yeah,
Code One that works on multiple
got it.
devices,
All right, that's
iOS and web.
yeah, that's cool. And then I don't, you don't have to give out any of your ideas or anything, but have you thought about like what might be your first app or first try at an actual app?
Yeah, so I'm wrestling between two at the moment. So I've had a long idea for Airbnb for hunting lands.
Oh, okay.
As you experience, it's very expensive to hire someone to take you on a private land and hunt. So to give people more access to private land, so to create an application that does that,
Yeah, that's
or
perfect.
I might reestablish. So I own a really large text message marketing company back in 2000, like 11, 12, and 13, and that that industry got shut down because we use 10-digit cell phone numbers, not like 5-digit short
Okay.
codes. And so I'm thinking of rehashing that application, but in a more current form. Because it wasn't mobile app based back then.
Right.
But now it seems to be mobile app based.
And the whole text messaging marketing seems to be having a resurgence. I mean, we saw it kind of pop up right when around the time where you had your company, and then it died off because of complaints and all that and regulations. And it seems like they've figured out ways to work with that and still make it good. Because I see a lot of text marketing going on with a lot of big companies. So
yeah, and everybody's still doing it incorrectly, in my opinion.
Sure. Yeah.
It's just because there's no platform that allows them to do it properly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get pitched. I've gotten pitched a couple of them just to use them or to promote them, but I want to only promote stuff that I do, like or that I use, and I haven't dedicated the time to learn to it. I know, obviously a big part of my whole group right now is the whole Gary V approach, and he's big into it. And I get texts from him maybe once or twice a day. And they're usually pretty much like Gary is branded. Like he's not pitching anything. He just
Very rah-rah.
Yeah,
I get the same one.
Yeah, like, hey, have a good day, or don't forget.
We all love you, miss you
Exactly.
guys.
Which is nice, as opposed to somebody always telling me, hey, go buy this, or we have a discount this and that. I mean, I kind of expected that from him. But, obviously he's playing with it to see how viable it is, and probably using for some of his own clients. So obviously it's still good, and I think it's still pretty inexpensive. But hey, Craig, how are you? So yeah, we were just doing a quick intro, and I was asking people, if they want to share some of the stuff they're working on regarding content and stuff like that. And you just joined us. So by the way, you're
sorry, I was on mute.
That's okay.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah. By the way, we're recording the call, or I'm recording the call, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
But I thought you said Facebook rooms you can't record.
Well, you can't. You don't have a built-in recorder like Zoom does, but I'm recording it with my own with ScreenFlow.
Got it. Okay.
So that's why I'm telling people, because it doesn't indicate that it's being recorded. If it was a Zoom call, I would just not tell people because it shows a big red button right there. So, yeah. So, Craig, do you want to tell us? I don't want to tell your story because obviously you tell it better, but it would be interesting for you to tell everybody what you've done. The kind of the quick intro I gave you in the group and stuff, and then tell us, I don't know if you're working on any content, any questions you have, or anything like that.
Yeah, I'll try and say it as short as possible, because it's I do a lot of different stuff. I used to be a 3D animator and motion graphics artist way back in the day, and have always loved branding and marketing and content. And along the way, just about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, I started creating an application called Relay That, which automates design, and you basically drag and drop brand assets into it, and it will automatically generate and resize content for all platforms. So I bit off a lot more than I could chew along the way. It turned into a really big thing, and lots of customers, which was great. And last January, actually, the company was acquired. So that was my first successful exit. And one of the things that I've identified recently, this past 4 or 5 months, was I really wanted to leverage what I had learned from that experience and start creating other applications. So I've created about 4 different applications, either web-based or one of them most recently is called Stanza. And it's kind of like Relay That, but for text instead of design. If you used to do the Mad Libs where they ask for a noun and a verb and all that stuff, basically you plug that in once and it will automatically generate content ideas from CTAs to status updates and things like that. So I've realized that I'm a glutton for punishment in creating apps that require a lot of curation, and that's kept me busy. But I think the thing I've identified that I'm most passionate about is talking to other people about what they're doing and exchanging ideas, and just that energy and that passion of somebody that is creating something right in that beginning is really, I don't know how I monetize that or what I do with that long term. beyond turning my hobbies into businesses. It seems like a habit of mine. But I really love talking about what other people are doing and seeing them start from an idea and take it to that first stage and then kind of scaling it up from there is very exciting to me.
That's pretty cool. I like what is it called, Stanza? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Is that already open to the public, or you still?
Yeah, I just launched it yesterday.
Okay.
So it's at getstanza.com, and
Cool.
I'm trying. What I've learned is that people really they like one-time costs and really value driven. So I'm kind of doing like I've learned, and I don't know if this is going to be helpful for you, Tyler, when you launch your thing, but I found that having a group of founding members that can start the swell and give you feedback has been really good for anything that I've launched. So I kind of create a founding member pricing and I limit those. So like for the first 500 people that do it in this particular case, I just give them a ridiculous no-brainer thing. It doesn't even matter if they pay me a dollar or $25 or whatever. It's just like there's a difference of someone paying for something than saying, give you a pat on the back and saying, oh, that's kind of a cool idea. So and then you get those people like they'll give you some reviews and give you feedback and give you feature ideas. So I'm going to try and iterate that many times over many products and kind of be a mad scientist in a laboratory creating things and validating them.
Yeah.
So would that work for like social media caption content?
Yeah. It's we're creating it for all kinds of content: email headers, blog post titles, social media content, and the content is only as good as what we curate, right? And so that's the idea, to create things that have been tested and work well, and retire the stuff that isn't working and bring in the stuff that's really working from that standpoint. So it's exciting to do that, and I like I said, I love that beginning stage of everything. And then I think what will happen with these tools is they'll end up getting licensed, out to people that want to scale them up even more.
Sure. Yeah, no, I love the idea. I actually had a tiny little script before that would do that for some quotes. And I used it for a little bit to create Instagram quotes. But it was such a pain to maintain because it was just me running some scripts. But yeah, I had like an intro, a middle part, and a back end, and then it would just mix them up somewhat randomly, and then put them into a Photoshop template. But this is a great idea. I've been wanting something like this for a long time.
Right, and that's what I teach in Instagram. I have an Instagram course that I don't widely publicize. It's actually a secret. That's really what it is right now. And I was teaching just the fill in the blank for content and also for your bio for social media. But that's just a one-timer. But content over and over again would be. It's
very interesting to me. It's like, I don't know how this happened, but I don't know if you guys like puns or anything like that, or jokes and stuff like that. But everything that I seem to create seems to be like, how do I take words and mash them up into things? I even invented this board game. It's called Hodgepop, and it's pop culture that you mash up into things, and then you'll take like 5 words, and then it'll say startup idea or yoga pose, and people end up saying like slam down bacon gaga or whatever, and they'll mash this thing up, and then they have to explain it and pitch it. So for some reason, I just have this this habit or this interest in mashing up things and in content. So I guess that's what brought me here, and from that standpoint.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty creative. Yeah, it's very interesting. I think you'll do well with this. You got to get the. Well, I mean, I don't know how. You said you just launched yesterday, but you got to get on. What's that site? Oh my God! I had it while you were talking, and the one where they pitch all the new apps and stuff.
There's Product Hunt and AppSumo
Product Hunt. Yeah, Product Hunt. I think if you
Product Hunt.
Now, is Product Hunt, here's a tricky strategy. Is Product Hunt where you go and you pitch it yourself, or do you want somebody else to pitch it for you as a client? Like, hey guys, go check this out. This is amazing. And then does that get more traction, or
It's it's both. Someone will come in and find something and share it without, like, for example, the last time they promoted one of my tools, I was on a plane for 4 hours, so I didn't even have any chance to respond or drum up any like responses.
Sure.
So I kind of lost that. But I think there's also a lot of people that it's kind of like if you've ever seen a magazine article where you're like reading it and you're like, okay, they paid for this advertising,
Sure.
In this, but it's wrapped in an article. That's the same with Product Hunt in some ways, where
Right.
and it's not bad or anything, but it sometimes people have a very specific way that they want to launch on Product Hunt, so they'll have either launch it themselves or they'll have somebody they know launch it, so that so they can be ready for it. Is kind of how they do it.
So did you guys ever market anything on Stumbleupon?
Yeah, when it was good,
Yeah.
and we were just talking about it last week with Lisa.
Yeah. So when like on Stumbleupon, you always want to find like an influencer, right? Like someone who had a high value ranking, get them to stumble to your page or add your page for you, and then it went more viral.
Right.
So that actually used that for Slide Ball Guys. That's how it got like methods. But Product Hunt is similar. Like you want to find someone that has a lot of clout,
Right.
have them like introduce your product, and then it'll get more attraction than if you were to just go on and like whatever. So
Right.
from my understanding of how to game Product Hunt.
Yeah, and I think especially right now that you have the life. By the way, you need to add a PayPal button. I was about to hit, and there's no PayPal. I'm missing the PayPal checkout. But yeah, I know AppSumo does that as well. Or it's a Sumo something, whatever it's called. Yeah, where they do the lifetime deals, because a lot of people go after that, and gives you a good idea of how people think, I guess, about the product and all that. But
I would say the biggest thing that I've learned is it's such a noisy world. There's so many apps, and as far as content's concerned, it's like you can have something that is okay or average and have 50,000 people that know about it, and that's going to get so much more conversion than the diamond in the rough that's perfect that not many people know about.
Yeah.
And that was definitely something I've learned over the years, is partnering with people that have an audience in a very authentic way where you both get value out of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like I've been kind of like heads down building the product, and then not a lot of people know about it. It's really hard to scale. So what I'm going to do this round is kind of get those founding members that can be kind of help me raise the awareness of the tool in the beginning, hopefully.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, good luck with that. It's pretty good. I mean,
thank you. I appreciate it.
It's really good. I'll check it out soon. I just don't have my card on me. I would have already signed up. So anyway, Lisa, what about you? Did you? By the way, are you okay if I give him a quick intro of what we talked about last week, and then you tell us?
Oh, absolutely.
So I was asking Lisa kind of the same question I asked you guys. What are you working on? Or what content would you be interesting for you to work on next? And the whole reason why she joined the group was because I posted my idea to do the 64 or more pieces of content. She got excited about it. And then she told us a story that I didn't know, even though I've known her for 10 years or so, is that she was adopted and she's been through a journey of finding her parents. So this is where we are. And I told her, hey, this should be your story. This should be the content that you write about, how you build a big tribe. And then don't worry about the monetization. That comes later. But believe me, there's 20 ways to monetize that story. But don't make that the central issue. So yeah, how are you doing with that, Lisa? Go ahead. Oh, then she leaves.
Bye-bye.
I think she made.
It's like perfect timing.
I know. That was like, okay. Well, I'm sure she'll be right back. Something must have happened. Somebody else said that they can't get into the group. Carob. I don't know why, but I asked her and she didn't respond, so that sucks. But yeah, while we waited for Lisa, I guess I'll tell you a little bit and then I'll ask you, Allison, because I don't want to interrupt you once you're in it, but I'm okay pausing my stuff. But basically, I'm just doing content for my business, which is...
Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to get off mute. I was like, no!
I saw that.
Like the perfect intro.
It was like perfect timing.
Yeah, that was a good magic trick. It's a good magic trick.
Or you just taking
So-
storytelling to the next level and giving us some suspense.
That's
here.
right.
Okay, go ahead.
So I've done a bunch of brainstorms for different kind of stories that I can start to tell, and I haven't bought my domain yet. But
Don't say it. Don't say it.
So far, the clear winner is stalking my family.
Okay,
Oh, shoot.
that's okay. I know Tyler and Craig will respect
Okay.
that.
Well, it's out.
I'm not gonna get it. I own too many
Okay.
domains.
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, I don't think it's in high demand. I can't imagine it would be. So, because I have a lot of stories about this whole process because it was a lifelong search, and I had really amazing connections at the end. But one of the things that I learned in my whole process is that there are no greeting cards for people with their family of origin. And so that's one of the monetization ideas that I have. But I've always really wanted to stretch how web design could do storytelling. And I think that's really what I'm going to focus on, is getting really creative with the content and using it as almost a multimedia mashup of storytelling. And how can I do this where I can use, GIFs and text and do it in a way. Because one of the things that I heard, which is kind of related, is that in marketing, we want to create an emotional response.
Right.
And somebody told me that when you are texting, that creates no emotional connection. And I thought that was an interesting idea. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if I believe that. But can you create a deeper emotional response by mixing up media? Because I know that when you add somebody's movements and somebody's voice, you're going to feel way more attached to them and way more attached to their story. And so it's going to be a little bit of my, I like this idea that you had of a laboratory. We need these laboratories because our ideas can sit in our idea bank for a really long time, and times change and things move on. I mean, we're talking about Stumbleupon, which was just so dynamic 10 years ago, and it doesn't even exist today.
Right.
So we have to be super fluid. Right. And so my plan is, because I've been scared about jumping into this because it is so personal. But I've been thinking about really kind of starting on Instagram with my stories on Father's Day. I have a picture of my dad, that I got, and he was a huge piece and an unexpected piece, and of really having, a rough of the website up, but really going forward with my story on Sunday. So,
Yeah, I think
I gotta get going.
I think that's a great idea, and we're getting a lot of echo. But yes, I definitely think that what you said is true, and the multiple venues of presenting media makes it instantly more relatable, and also catches people's emotions and attention in different ways. Some people may read a phrase that reminds them of something else that triggers an emotional response, but other people maybe will relate to your voice in a certain way, or no matter what you do, I mean, even the best writers can't express emotion the same way that changing the tone in your voice will express it, right? So definitely have multimedia there. I mean, the mechanic and the basic of content creation that I would tell you from a top level view strategy would be to have visual, written, and then definitely read in voice, like a podcast. Each thing that you post have a podcast version of it. When you start with your Instagram, and you have even if you have just a landing page with a title, that's it. I would put a description of the story that the picture tells into a little podcast and put it on the website, and just let people hear that, and make it straight to the point, like you're telling somebody this little bit of the story. And I mean, you don't know how many people I've talked to professionally and personally that I listen to on their YouTube videos or podcasts first, and when I meet them in person, it's like they're a friend because I recognize their voice. My friend, a big SEO person that I follow, I listened to his podcast for years, and then one time when I met him at an event, like it was like you just know their tone, you know their voice. It was, and then we've remained good friends after that. And I think definitely have those the different types of visual and auditory things will make it a big difference. And don't think of it just from a content marketing perspective, but from a genuine, like, tell that story as a picture, and it's great. You know, your picture may have a similar background that somebody connects to, or say, oh, I used to have a shirt just like that, whatever it may be. But then the voice will tell the story that people want to hear. I mean, that's why This American Life from NPR is so popular, because it's the audio of it, you know? So I would definitely say yes to everything you said. I don't know if anybody else has comments on that, but yeah.
My brain is exploding with a few ideas if I could share.
Yeah, jump in.
There's something called StoryCorps. You mentioned NPR. And if you look up StoryCorps, Lisa, CORPS, I think that vibe of those StoryCorps would be really like in the tone of what you might kind of like jump to mind. The second thing was you said about these greeting cards. I would actually I would contact Ancestry.com and any of these DNA companies, and I would actually get them to sponsor your story. So like you would jump from, you know, hey, I've got a podcast and I've released 3 podcast episodes, to immediately monetizing and immediately having like someone that has your back, like just kind of create like, this is what I want to do. Would you like to be a part of this? And go like, because I did a podcast, actually, I did like 13 or 14 episodes, and I never really thought about monetizing or anything like that. I was just kind of enjoying the process of doing that. And I think getting someone, it goes back to what I was saying about audience.
Yeah.
Like getting someone right at the beginning that can scale you up immediately will give you more energy, because then you have an audience. You're like, they're depending on me or something like that. So that was my second thing. And then my third thing that I really liked was, you said stalking the family or something. This is where my alliteration geek out comes out. I was thinking stalk the stork. Something like that, where
that's pretty clever.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You got some
so
you got alliteration there, and still the message, and even more intrigue.
Right,
yeah.
more intrigue.
So you could do a lot with the imagery of that, and like I'm so happy right now. Like this is what I love to do. I just love to geek out without ideas, and I'm just like, you know. So thank you for that, and that's my brain dump on you, like my brandstorm of your thing.
Oh, thank you. That stalk the stork. Oh my god.
That is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, you know, like a tagline, you know, like you're finally find your origin story, or, you know, find out where you were delivered, or, you know, you can do so much with the copy on that.
Yeah, there you go, Lisa.
Yeah, totally.
You have no excuse whatsoever.
Right.
I know. Maybe it's good I didn't buy my domain yet.
Maybe.
Oh my god.
Maybe yes.
Yeah.
So
Very cool. Thank you.
yeah, so you're planning.
I'm going to be switching.
Say that again.
Yeah, I'm going to be switching rooms soon. My daughter's tutor is coming over, and they work in this room, so I'm going to be going on my phone.
Okay.
But I haven't abandoned anyone.
Okay.
Here.
I'm so glad you got that in. Those are some great ideas.
I know.
Yeah.
So you're planning on starting the Instagram thing on this Sunday, you said?
On Sunday,
Oh,
yeah.
it's the 21st.
I've got.
Right on.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and I'm also an astrologer. I don't like tell that to many people, but the 20th, 21st is like a new moon and it's an eclipse. And anyway, there's a whole bunch of other alignments. So it's an auspicious day for me to start.
All right.
Plus Father's
Perfect.
Day. And
Yeah,
so.
perfect. All right, so if you're gonna switch, I'll talk about a few things, and then we'll talk. We'll see what Allison's got to say.
Wait, who are you on Instagram, Lisa? Should I just look up Lisa?
Oh, Lisa McClure.
Okay, I should have known. Okay, great. We weren't connected there.
Yeah. By the way, obviously, oh yeah, I already follow you. I've been following you for a long time. So, by the way, after we're done with the call, what I'll do is I'll process it real quick and I'll post it as a video and I'll put it into the chat and stuff. You guys are, just by virtue of being here, you guys are free to post links to your stuff in the group and stuff. I haven't made any policy about posting links or anything, but because I know everybody right now and nobody would be spamming the group. I know that. But especially you that showed up and you're part of it, feel free to comment with your links if you want. You know, this is my website. Craig, I'm going to post about your app soon because that's directly related to the content so people can check it out.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
we're still within the 500
yeah.
founding
So-
members.
Okay.
Within the what?
500 founding members.
Oh, yes, for him. Yeah. Is
Okay, just want to make sure.
Okay. She's here.
what I'm
Okay.
let me see
She
what
just
else.
needs to go.
Um,
Oh, okay.
oh, so Lisa left the video, but she's still here.
Oh, I'm here. Can you see?
No, well, I can't see you anymore. Are
I'm
there?
Matt.
Okay.
I just gotta move my.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, since-
I'm on the phone now.
Okay, we just don't see your video, but since since everybody is on here and stuff, Allison, what about you? What's brewing on your side of it?
Oh, I don't feel like anything that I'm doing is actually really very exciting or original.
Like mine is. I mean, I'm just posting. I'm trying to go for this magical number that some random internet marketer made up. So how is that anything special?
Right. But see, I'm not even there yet. Like that's up here. I'm actually just making sure I mean, probably just like everybody here, I'm a DIYer and I like to try to figure it all out before I try to teach my clients, right? So the ultimate way to create income for me is obviously if I had a membership or I taught a course or something like that. I'm trying to get to that point where I feel like I can. So I've been trying to create content.
Oh, you can work on there. Yeah.
Put it out there so that
But I never
keep
thought
my
about
business
that. You
and
could
myself
work
a
here.
secret. So that's actually what I'm trying to do. And taking all the steps to do that, even though I find it difficult and what have you. Trying to do more videos and more content. And then starting
Totally.
to build my email list and grow a Facebook group and all that kind of stuff. 'Cause if I do that, I feel like I could drop a course in there.
Hold on a second.
Hopefully it'll get by.
Lisa, would you mind muting your mic for a minute?
Oh yeah. Hold on.
Thanks. All right. Sorry about that. So go on.
Okay. So so that's me. I'm just kind of on this path of trying to not be secret anymore.
Yeah. Well, you're way too humble because there's so much more that I know you're working on, and you should talk about it. But I'll let you.
Well, that's really the basis of everything. I'm a designer. I started off as a designer, so I feel like Canva is a great place to start. So I've been kind of doing some Canva videos and some social media, and then I get like caught up in client work and dealing with that, but trying to, think like Oscar and in creating client work, maybe working that into something that I could use for my business and my content. So just keeping that top of mind. It's not easy to stay focused and motivated, but I'm trying to keep motivated.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
That's my deal.
Yeah, I think you're doing great, and I think like if you do what I've told you before, and you guys know if well, Craig, you've been on apps mostly, but I'm sure you've experienced some sort of service, and Tyler, with all the massive amount of audience that you deal with, what I've told Allison in the past is take that one advice that you gave client A today and turn that into evergreen and also mass audience appeal. So, if you're telling somebody, hey, this is how to write your next email, and it's for a client because they sell widgets, you can easily abstract that and turn it into advice for an entire industry, an entire group of people, and put that into YouTube, which is the whole point of repurposing content with minimal effort. So,
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it sounds really good when you say it.
and it sounds a lot easier when I'm just sitting here saying it, but once you get to do it, it's a little harder. I know, I understand that, because I also have to do the same thing, and I do maybe 10% of it. Well, I should do a lot more. So I posted earlier today on the Facebook group that for the past like 3 or 4 days I kind of shut down in posting and sharing content, but I was head down creating new stuff and dealing with some client work and stuff, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to make the posting and the sharing be fluid, because I can sit here and create. I can create a blog post. I can sit down and maybe in an hour I can knock out a pretty good blog post. I can also do a video, but then when it gets down to the redistribution of that, that's when it gets a little tricky, because making it contextual, and then I haven't posted anything on Instagram for a week, so I want to post something now, but then people are going to think I'm just spamming it, and then you have to either get over yourself on that or just post it and then do some other postings and stuff. So that gets a little tricky. I'm trying to create this workflow. A few people have asked me to show them my calendar and workflow, but I'm not quite ready to show that yet. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm working on. I started it with a new series of talks, just called Let's Talk About It. Out of the blue, it came up, and it's just talking about whatever topic related to anything entrepreneurial. And it just so happens that the very first one was actually a friend of mine, and we were talking about the Black Lives Matter stuff. I'm not going to get into it, but basically we went on for like 2 hours. And I posted on YouTube, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with YouTube analytics, but the dashboard gives you like the progress of that video compared to the other 10 top videos for that period of time. So like if you post it at 10 a.m., it tells, in 6 hours, it'll tell you 6 hours later, these other videos were doing this well or so. So far, based on all that, it's been the best video that I posted, I don't know, in like 6 months. Obviously, it's a hot topic, so I think that's part of it, creating content that is relevant to the time, but also has an evergreen feel to it. Once this is over, for whatever that looks like, in a month, in 6 months, I think that talk is still relevant. So, and then right after that, I had another talk with somebody else. That one I'm processing, and then another one like 2 days ago. So I'm trying to get into a workflow where I can have one of those interviews every single day and crank them out. So it's a lot to process, but I think I can do it. The biggest part is getting people to commit and follow through, because I had another talk scheduled for yesterday at 7, and literally at 6:55, I'm like, hey, I'm jumping on, I'll see you in a minute. Oh, I completely forgot. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I made time, I made all this stuff for this, and now it didn't happen. I don't know how to handle this, but I don't know how to handle backup candidates, because I don't want him to feel like second place or second choice. But I guess it would have been nice to have somebody else like, hey, can we do a call at 8? An hour later maybe. But so anyway, those are kind of my struggles. So, and then that's it. I do want to talk about something else I posted, but do you guys have any questions so far? Anything else that you want to tell? I don't know if Lisa is still on mute, because now her image is frozen. But
I'm here.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we just don't see your video. I
Yeah.
thought maybe you got stuck. But I don't
No,
know if
I'm here.
anybody has any tips or questions for any of the people that have shared their stuff. If not, then I'll ask you guys about something else.
I kind of have a general question.
Yeah, ask away.
Is there a chat feature here? I mean, that's not my question.
I
But
don't
I
think
was-
so. I was looking
Oh.
for one to message Lisa a little
Oh.
while ago, but I don't think there is.
Okay, well, maybe on Facebook you could just drop your Instagram handles or something
Yeah, let's just,
for Craig and Tyler.
Yeah, I found you on LinkedIn, so, and your Facebook and everything like that. So
Cool.
I'm looking you guys up. I like
being
it. I like,
stalked.
yeah, I like this group. So it's a good group of people. So
Yeah, cool. My question. So I watched this webinar yesterday of the Sam Cart guy, Brian Moran,
okay.
and the difference between like having a one-page website and driving traffic to that and selling a course and have no other information, like just a one-pager website. So you're not building social media presence, you're not blogging, you don't have a full-fledged website. It's just kind of a one-pager, testimonials and copy on their sales copy, and then kind of your maybe long-form copy on your landing page, and then selling a course that way. And then I'll obviously running ads because that's how you get your traffic, or doing it the long way, meaning you have a website and you build a brand around it, you have some social media, you maybe do a podcast, or, you just build that up. I don't know. I have this idea, but it's just an idea right now.
What is your question? Like, which way would you go?
So which way is, like, obviously the faster path to cash would be the one page. Do you think?
Okay. I mean, I can answer, give you my 2 cents, and then
Okay.
what I would do is a mix of both. Because just knowing you personally, what you want to do, I would say build your landing page. And, it doesn't have to be, this is one of the mistakes I think people make when they start a course, is that they want to build it with what they already have. So you have your marketing design website or social media, as a brand that you've already built for years. You don't have to put your course on there, but you can promote it through there. So what I would do if I were you is I would start a landing page with a branding in mind. And maybe somewhere in the branding you say, hey, buy Spark Marketing. But then that's your landing page where people can look at testimonials, overviews, video clips, whatever, and then buy this stuff. And then as you go, you add more to that, and that becomes its own little product brand for your overall brand.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking about this for baseball and softball, actually.
Oh, okay.
So we know a bunch of baseball and softball instructors,
Yeah.
and it would be building up a course, maybe a hitting course or a fielding course, something like that, and maybe not putting as much effort into building the website and building the brand, but building the course up.
Yeah, well, I would
No.
definitely focus on the content, and you can use, for example, WordPress with, cart flows that turns it into basically what you get with ClickFunnels. Or you could use
Okay.
ClickFunnels or lead pages and just have the landing page focus on the sales, that's it. But do think about the domain, in my opinion, so that you can leverage that later. And then to drive sales right away, you do have to have ads and actually aggressive promotions. But it doesn't mean that you don't have to, in parallel, bring the traditional social media organic branding into it, where you start up a side page for a blog and YouTube videos about the results of the batting practices or whatever it is.
And
you
there
can
will
build-
be YouTube videos, but
Yeah, and you can build that in parallel, but that, as you know, that could take 3 months, it could take 90 days, it could take
Right.
a year,
right.
but you can do both. Get the landing
Okay.
page, a shopping cart done, people can buy it and get access to whatever 5 videos as a module number 1, and
Okay.
you start selling that directly through direct sales with either ads on Facebook or literally phone calls to call recruiters, tell them you give them 10%, anything like that. And then my opinion is always to build organic, long-lasting legacy alongside with paid marketing.
Tyler, how do you get your members?
Me?
Yeah. You.
Oh, So I launched in 2006, so it was a different game. I basically hacked MySpace from a marketing perspective.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean it was a way different marketing game back then.
Okay.
But what I would say for today is along the lines of what Oscar was saying is have your landing pages, have your like the things that drive your funnel, but have a blog that you're putting out at least three pieces of content a day, if at least for the first 90 days, and then after that, you can maybe scale back to one. But if the more pace you can keep, the better pace you can keep, the better response you're going to get. But because that's such a rich area. I played baseball up until college and whatever, and so like
Okay.
there's so many topics you can hit on.
So many.
Yeah,
No pun intended.
Yeah, exactly right. And so just like on hitting alone, like there's so many different strategies of hitting. There's so many different tools you can use, like methods you can use for practice. Like, do you hit up a tee? Do you not hit up a tee? Like you can strengthen by hitting a tire. Like there's all kinds of like old school, new school ways of hitting, and it's always changing. So if you're talking about like the advantages and disadvantages of each tool and each way of practicing and putting out all that content, what you're going to do is get people that are searching. You're going to get more of that long tail search of, hey, like teach me about like this method of hitting, or how do I improve my son's hitting or my daughter's hitting or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
How can I like? I was a very gifted athlete in fast pitch hardball, but I could not hit a slow pitch softball if my life depended on it. Like so, like how can I transition from hardball to softball? From a hitting perspective and stuff like that. And so there's all these different things you can do, and I think if you then employed content like video content and even if you did a limited podcast where you just brought on like coaches of, like go to top college coaches. I mean, I was blessed because I lived in Northern California, so I got access to like UC Berkeley. Like I went to a camp every summer, and I had UC Berkeley hitting coach who happened to be a coach for the A's and Giants and stuff like that. And so, you get like those guys aren't in demand. You can have conversations with it, like all the different ones, like, hey, what's your strategy about hitting? It could be a pretty short podcast, 30 minutes or something, but
that's all you need, though. Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you get them in the house and like do a little video with them on the tee or something like that. Like, hey, what's the number one thing you see and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely agree. And then one thing to add to that is, a lot of people feel like the experts are always unreachable or something, and you'd be surprised how easy it is to get certain people involved with you, just to have a conversation that may be like the top person in a certain thing. And all you have to do is like send them a couple of emails and actually connect with them. People think, oh, well, this guy gets paid, millions of dollars. So it's like, yeah, but when was the last time they got interviewed for a 30-minute podcast with a local person? And sometimes they're just open to that.
So these guys love the game. Like they just want to, especially if you're saying they're trying to reach out to youth and like make them better. I mean, baseball's dying right now from talent. Like a lot of professional sports are, just because kids are playing video games and not playing.
That's right. Yeah, and so many regulations are happening too at the very low levels. It's crazy. Like they just don't. From an educational point of view, there's no incentive to be an athlete a lot. Like in my kids' school, for example, you can't play tag. Do any of you remember not being able to play tag?
Yeah, I mean, we played basically tackle football.
Exactly.
On the playground.
Yeah, but you can't play tag. Just like you tag, you're it. It's not allowed in my kids' school
Oh my God.
because somebody may fall and hurt themselves. That is the reasoning the principal gave us to why it was banned.
No more dodgeball then.
I'm like, that's ridiculous. So, a lot of things like that are not even encouraging any athleticism, and that sucks. So, but in any case, that's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I think
I'm just curious, Allison. What is your like what's your end goal? Like, because you're a marketing company, but then you're also launching a course. Like, I was just kind of curious what the difference was in those two worlds for you.
Gosh, that's a really great question. So, to me, my biggest question right now is like I'm at this point where I heard somebody say the other day, "Yeah, I'm 62 and I'm about to retire, like 3 years to retirement, whatever." And I'm thinking, okay, so that's nice. I'm not near that yet. I'm a little bit near it, but I'm not near it yet. But I don't feel like I could retire anytime soon. And what can I build now other than, finding a job in healthcare where I get a pension or having, so I'm looking for that residual income source that I could manage when I want to retire. I could just manage. And I was going to buy a business actually in the last few months. And then COVID happened. And then it was a beauty business. So that was going to be kind of what took us into retirement, but not anymore. And that's,
So
not
you
an
need
idea
something
anymore.
you need something you can scale beyond just trading your time for money, basically, right?
Exactly. Right.
Okay.
Right.
So
Because client work is good, but it's paying the bills. And I want something beyond that could kind of, take it to the next level.
And then what's the interest in the softball / baseball industry then?
Great.
Is that
Great question.
personal or?
I used to play, but that was it was a lot of years ago. And softball was different. It wasn't, there's a little bit more of a community around softball now than it once was because it was all baseball back then when I was growing up. But my daughter plays travel softball, and she's kind of in the thick of it. So she's, hopefully going to be recruited in the next few years. And she's, high level softball right now. So we know a ton of coaches, and we're kind of tied into that softball world. My son used to play baseball, but he stopped playing baseball. But still, we know people in the baseball world. So it's kind of an easy in. Nobody's doing any type of marketing. Very, very few are doing marketing in the softball baseball space. So I feel like, if you apply what online marketing to softball, I feel like it could be a really big community there.
Okay. If you don't mind, I'd like to make one like just observation, like from an idea that I had of what you might be able to do that where you could have the reason I say this is because I see myself in you, like I have content struggles of like I want to post all this stuff and things like that. But at the same time, I'm also building my business, and I've found struggles in terms of like how do I get content out there, but also pay attention to my business. And I don't know if you have experienced that, but that's like one of the things that I do. So my idea would be like if you really are passionate about this to the ends of the earth, of like, okay, I'm going to put 110% of my effort into baseball, softball. One idea I have is to create a central blog that you invite everybody else. And it's not just about guest posting, but like you invite people in and they actually pay you to put content on there. So for example, like the people that, I don't know this world, but people that produce bats or, softballs or batting cages, they could actually say, okay, you've built this community of people and I want in on that. And I want to write an article on your platform and I will actually pay you $1,000 to do that. Now, that seems like a lot of work where you're going to have to go out there and get these relationships and things like that. But I feel like that would be one thing. And then the other thing is you could host the simplest of pages, turnkey for softball groups or teams or anything like that. They're like, I just want a page, and they email you their logo. They email you like one paragraph about their team, and they have a page that they can have, they can collect the emails. They can post the schedules of the upcoming game for the year. And I would think like from that standpoint, if you're really all in on that, my idea would be to go really big in terms of the idea. And then that's the platform. So it's like softballhub.com or whatever. Right. And you own softballhub.com, and then you get people to pay on that to release a press release or to release the newest product that's coming out. And if I was a bat company and I wanted to release the new bat or the new bat donut, I would definitely pay someone, $2,000 to reach their 10,000 people that are just going to that site for free. So that's kind of like, if you really are passionate about that, and I think you would be, because you're going to be talking about softball and baseball forever, with all this content. But leveraging, I'm not a content expert, but leveraging other people and partnerships to get that swell of content that you're not going to want to do on Sunday night, and you build the platform might be an idea for you.
It's interesting.
That's
It's
brilliant.
an interesting idea.
Yeah, and those companies, like you mentioned, the bats or whatever, your gloves, they're
Rolling, like all those companies, they have.
Yeah.
They're not
Emery.
they're not even going to question it. This is just part of their budget. They're
Right.
like, hey, we have 50 grand to push this product. Where do we go? Okay, we go Sports Center, wherever they can afford, and be like, oh yeah, okay, this
The
website
biggest
has
community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
I mean, that
matter
is
of
a little
fact.
bit different. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
brilliant. That's actually pretty good. Yeah.
That's a great way to go. And the content that I would be creating, it's actually, I'd be partnering with coaches, with people who have,
Sure.
coached hitting for forever and ever. It's not just me. So, I mean, that's brilliant, because I could partner with any one of these, 20, 30, 50, because they're out there. They're not big names, as you said. You can reach out to them, but they're big in their field.
Right.
And possibly get a podcast or something going on.
Yeah, I didn't want to interject too much of my ideas, but I just feel like the one thing I've learned is like monetize immediately, get partners immediately, think big partners. Like if Rawlings is going to release an article about, how to swing better or how to catch better with their gloves or whatever, and then you have a podcast where you drop, Rawlings' name when you're talking about, the first glove, the Golden Glove or whatever awards they give out, like that would be pretty cool. I think like you could pull all those pieces together, and then that could be like definitely passive income over time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
affiliates, all that stuff.
Yeah, the monetization options there are like.
So I actually don't think
endless.
anybody's really doing it. Not anything big. Yeah.
There's so many different aspects of baseball and softball, like around the products, just specifically.
Yeah.
That you create so much content around, and have them create content. Like be like, hey, Rollins, we want to feature a way to best break in gloves for each position on the field, because each position is a whole way to break in a glove. Like, on an infielder, you want it slightly curved, so when you're down in the squat, like if the ball comes in a little easier.
Sure.
Baseman, catcher, outfielder, like they're all different. Like, what kind of glove?
You could contact a base company, people that make bases or home plate, and then write an article about why is it a diamond? Why are there four? Like, there's so many different things that you could do, like, and I'm sure that you could even have a resource page, like where people could go and where do you buy the best bats? Like that's what those people want to know.
Yeah. And it's all affiliate links.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Definitely. Those are great ideas. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Thanks for all that. I didn't want to take over, but that's great.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, and on top of that, just
this group's for.
Exactly.
She's back.
Yeah, she's back.
She was a ninja.
Yeah, just covert operations with Lisa over here, and you could, as for part of your marketing company, still build that course and sell it on that site as a quote unquote third party course.
Yeah.
And open it up for somebody else to say, hey, I have a course. Can I list it on your site? Sure, I take 30% of it or whatever. Yeah, the monetization options for that are endless. You just have to focus on launching it and that initial push that Craig's talking about. Like, hey, get people involved that can carry their own weight and have more reach than you could ever do on your own.
My first thing also would be to like start a Facebook group for people that are in that world. Because I think that my thing would be, I think it would be a mistake to start a course before you know what that course is going to be. And until you have a community to tell you that these are the 10 things I want to learn the most, you're going to create a course and you're going to have to recreate the course later anyway. Like, I'm not saying that you would be totally off the mark, but I think your course would be really successful if you had a Facebook community of 200 people. Then you say, what do you want to know in a course? And then you take those top 2 things, or 5 things and start there.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
Plus then you have people that feel like they're part of it and say, hey, I contributed to the course. I'm going to go check it out and see what she did with my idea or whatever. And then you have a fan base and people that will tell other people about it. Hey, go check out this course. They built it from this group.
Mm-hmm. Join the group. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can get that information from interviewing coaches too. Like interview 5 hitting coaches and see where the overlaps are and on what they see as the biggest things.
Yeah.
Kids or whatever age range need
Mm-hmm.
for instruction.
Yeah. The only, and it's not a gotcha or anything, but the only thing is, I would look at. You said nobody's doing it. I would do a little bit of research to just see what else are people doing related to what we said, and based on like what Craig said is really good about getting a group going, getting some information,
Right.
some feedback, but also look, because you are going to find that somebody's doing some parts of what we talked about.
Mm-hmm. There's a pitching coach that's doing it. Yeah.
Right. Well, just look carefully and do some good research, and then try to address a combination of what you get from feedback from people and what the other people are not doing. That way you're like, hey, I'm not even competing with this other website. They just don't have this type of content, but this content is supported by the people that said this is what they want to see. And then eventually you can add what the competition, quote unquote, is doing, and then you just own that whole space. But that way you're not fighting somebody else for the same thing. If somebody happens to be doing a hitting course, beginner course, or had to go from high school ball to college ball, if you happen to find that, maybe that's not the one you start with. Don't compete with
Got
that.
it. Yeah. Okay.
Or just make them your friends and be an affiliate for them.
Right.
Exactly.
Or just do it better.
Yeah.
Go the Amazon route. It's like, yeah, you can come sell here, and now that we know that you sell, we sell our own. Yeah. So.
Okay.
No, that was a great little conversation. I appreciate you asking the question and
good.
everybody jumping in. That's great. Any other questions you guys want to talk about?
Hey, actually, I'm going to switch topics for a second because it's something you just brought up. So you brought up the Amazon model. Did you guys hear about the Walmart and Shopify deal today?
No.
So Walmart just made it where, and Shopify, I guess, created some deal. I don't know all the specifics because I just kind of barely read the article, but I'm going to dive into it further. But apparently, Shopify, like owners of Shopify websites, will be able to sell their products fairly easily through the Walmart website.
That is brilliant. Well, for the company,
millions of Shopify sellers, and so that's one way going after Amazon.
Yeah, because Walmart. I mean, that's when you think about competition for Amazon. Really, Walmart and Target are the only ones. But Walmart is
really just Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart is doing really good stuff. Yeah, because I don't think you can't have independent sellers on Target, so it's really just Walmart.
Yeah,
that's really great. If you have a store and you can just kind of check a few boxes to start listing on Walmart, that's game changing.
That's really interesting. Cool. I think Shopify has been busy because I've heard them in the news about some local. So if you have your shop and it's local, something about local marketing for Shopify sites. And then I read something else about Facebook, how they're integrated more with Facebook. So they've been busy.
Yeah. Just did it with Facebook that made it a lot easier to sell across Facebook. So I run 2 Shopify websites for a couple guys I somehow got roped into, but they're hunting related. So I more did it for the educational aspect. So A, learn Shopify, and B, learn kind of, as I told you before, I want to get into the hunting industry with an app. And so, but yeah, it's super easy to sell across Facebook with Shopify. It's like a couple clicks and you have a Shopify store within your Facebook page. Yeah, and so I think expanded upon that.
I think Shopify's original DNA was a Facebook plugin, right? You could
they still have a Shopify Lite, I think.
Yeah, you could install it. Remember when Facebook had all those app tabs that you could install into your Facebook page? Yeah. I think one of them was a Shopify thing, and it was free, and it only lasted for maybe a year.
So you can still create a tab in your page for Shopify.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to learn about Shopify, watch How I Built This with Guy Raz. It's NPR's, and they do one with the founder of Shopify. And how he basically wanted to sell snowboards and couldn't find an e-commerce platform. And as a developer, he built his own. And that was the genesis of Shopify.
Interesting. Yeah, that would be a good story to hear. I'll check it out.
But yeah, it could be, as since we're all pretty enterprising, it might be something that if you can sell products through Walmart pretty easily, it might be
Yeah,
a pretty
because
killer way.
That's
yeah,
amazing.
a lot of people talk about selling stuff on Amazon, and over the past like 8 months, I worked with somebody that has a full-fledged Amazon presence, and it's a nightmare. If
Yeah.
you really and it's not cheap at all.
No,
So
it's a whole. It's like it's expensive.
they nickel and dime everything.
I've heard that
They
too.
they always take the consumer side on things like returns and stuff like that. If you have a new product, it may take 7 days for the product to go up. Even though sometimes you see products that you wonder how does this even get approved, but yeah. So if it makes it so easy that you can just kind of post it and maybe share stuff without knowing technical stuff, going through this like over the top review process with Amazon, and you just list it on Walmart. That's really great. I'm
I mean, to the point where you don't know how to do, you just hire someone on Fiverr for $25, and
sure.
you'll be up on.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look into that soon. Very very interesting.
Because I mean, you could even do product arbitrage, where like you
Yeah.
just look at Walmart and say, what do they not have that I know me and a community of people use?
Yeah.
Create a wholesale business on that, and then like blow out even the manufacturer.
Yeah,
on doing
a lot of people are doing that, and they're making great money. In fact, that's one of the things that Gary talks about, the whole arbitrage thing. And I follow some people on YouTube and TikTok that they literally go to a Target and then go online and list their stuff on Walmart, and they list it for like 30% more because they happen to get a Target on sale, or somebody in California has this product line that's not being sold in, say, Alabama, and then they go and they list it, and now people are ordering like crazy. And I'm like, why would people order when it's so much cheaper somewhere else? And it's impulse buy or convenience. That's it. And I see it all the time. People are posting like, look, I bought 30 of these items. They have this store sale only because maybe they have overstock, and then they go list it in their Shopify store or eBay or whatever, and they sell it for either retail or a little bit of a markup, and they make a bunch of money. But it is a lot of work. So
That sounds like a lot of work.
yeah, well, when they do it at scale, like some of the people I follow have like a warehouse.
Yeah.
And they just have a whole tracking system, or they buy pallets of products, which is interesting. Like, I guess on Amazon you can buy pallets of stuff that were returns or overstocked. Like people that are paying all these fees and they say, I don't want to sell it anymore, but it's cheaper for them to just give them to Amazon, consider it a loss, than it is for them to actually have Amazon ship it back and all that stuff. And so people just buy an entire pallet of electronics or video games or whatever, and it takes a while. It's just a retail store basically online. But yeah, well, I don't want to keep you guys too long. We've been a little over an hour. We didn't talk about the other stuff I posted, but this is great. I actually like this conversation we had before. This conversation we had today. What I was going to talk about was a video I posted a couple days ago on arbitrage and the mistake that Gary thinks we're making as businesses, and the reason why I'm doing this whole thing. So I posted on the page if you guys want to go watch it later. It's about 20 minutes, and then he has a long Q&A session, which is, you don't have to watch it or whatever. But basically, he thinks that information and attention is what we should be arbitraging. How do we, if we spend 5 minutes on TikTok or YouTube, how does that give us more leverage for the future with an audience and stuff? So, Allison, like for your softball stuff, definitely I would, on top of the Facebook group, I would definitely create a TikTok channel for your softball stuff. TikTok and Instagram, and just post as much as you can. And on both of those platforms, you can do source content from other people as well, just like we were suggesting, and start building that audience. So when you take next steps and stuff like that, you say, hey, go check out our Facebook group, or go check out our schedule for every team in the country, whatever, stuff like that. Anyway, I recommend you guys watch that video. I won't keep you here much longer, but thank you so much for everybody for joining. I really appreciate you guys great conversations and great topics. I appreciate everybody participating. And for the Instagram thing, I posted it just as we were talking. I posted a little thread saying, "Hey, introduce yourself with an Instagram link." So feel free to drop it in place in there. We can maybe get other members that didn't make it in today to kind of jump in there as well. So
Yeah,
All right. Lisa, I better see some posts from you come Father's Day.
Yes, you will.
I'll hold you to it.
And thank you guys so much. It's a real shot in the arm to get a chance to all come together and talk. It's cool.
yeah, I appreciate it. I'm going to schedule
And
another
thank
one.
you, Craig, for your ideas too.
Oh, yeah. Nice to meet all you guys.
Yeah, nice to
Great
meet
to
you,
meet
Craig.
you.
Gals.
I already knew you, Craig, but nice to have you here. I appreciate
Yeah.
you. Yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks so much for
Okay.
joining, and we'll talk to you. We'll talk
Cool.
soon.
All right. Bye.
Okay.
All right, have a
Bye.
good one.
Bye.